The book JFK and the Unspeakable, written by James W. Douglas, is an in-depth investigation into the killing of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The author has done extensive research on the subject, in contrast to the conclusion reached by the official Warren Commission report. The book contends that John F. Kennedy's assassination was not the product of a single assassin, but rather the consequence of a conspiracy that was coordinated by groups within the United States government, including the Central Intelligence Agency and the military-industrial complex. The concept of the unspeakable, which was drawn from Thomas Merton, is presented by Douglas to depict a systemic evil that has its origins in the paranoia that was prevalent during the Cold War and the unfettered authority of intelligence organizations. Douglas claims that Kennedy's transformation from a traditional Cold Warrior to a leader trying to find peace made him a threat to strong interests. The narrative revolves around Kennedy's transformation into a leader seeking peace. The key events that are highlighted include John F. Kennedy's secret backchannel negotiations with Nikita Khrushchev, the leader of the Soviet Union, to end the Cold War, his refusal to invade Cuba in response to military pressure during the missile crisis, and his moves toward withdrawing from Vietnam. All of these events were in conflict with the agendas of the national security state. Douglas suggests that these policy moves led to a secret decision to eliminate him by weaving together historical documents, witness testimonies, and declassified information. He does this in order to support his claim. The book also investigates the roles that people such as Lee Harvey Oswald played, who was depicted as a scapegoat who was manipulated by intelligence operations, as well as the ensuing cover-up that hid the reality surrounding the events. Douglas portrays the assassination of John F. Kennedy as a defining incident that altered the trajectory of American history. He contends that the assassination did two things: it strengthened militarism and compromised democracy. Ultimately, JFK and the Unspeakable is a historical probe as well as a moral reflection, and it encourages readers to address the long-lasting ramifications of this tragedy as well as the causes that formed it. The acclaimed book, JFK and the Unspeakable, which Oliver Stone referred to as the best account I have read of this tragedy and its significance, provides information not only about the manner in which the plot to assassinate President John F. Kennedy was carried out, but also about the reasons why it was carried out and why it continues to be applicable in modern times. John F. Kennedy faced the risk of committing the most heinous crime in human history during the height of the Cold War, initiating a nuclear war. Kennedy, who had been a Cold Warrior for a long time, gradually shifted his beliefs away from the Cold Warrior ideology and toward a policy of sustainable peace. He was horrified by the prospect of nuclear devastation, but the United States military and intelligence organizations, which were determined to win the Cold War at any cost, saw Kennedy's change of heart as a direct danger to their power and influence. They were devoted to winning the war at any cost. As soon as these shadowy, unspeakable forces realized that Kennedy's goals were in direct contradiction to their own, they labeled him as a dangerous traitor, plotted his killing, and managed the ensuing cover-up about what had happened. Douglas transports readers to the Oval Office during the anxious days of the Cuban Missile Crisis, leads them on the peculiar path of Lee Harvey Oswald and his shady handlers, and brings them to the twisting road in Dallas where an ambush was waiting for the president's motorcade. Douglas provides compelling evidence that these forces of the unspeakable were present at each and every stage of the process, manipulating individuals in the same manner as pawns on a chessboard in order to further a harmful and even lethal objective. The highly accomplished director and producer Oliver Stone brought JFK and the Unspeakable to the notice of the world for the first time on Bill Mayer's show, and it quickly rose to the top of the bestseller charts almost immediately. After that, since then, it has received praise from several notable authors, including Mark Lane, author of Rush to Judgment, who describes it as an exciting work with the drama of a first-rate thriller; John Perkins, author of Confessions of an Economic Hitman, who declares it to be arguably the most important book yet written about an American president; and Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., who describes it as a very well-documented and convincing portrait. I strongly encourage every single American to read this book and draw their own conclusions from it.